Hello.
This time. Welcome to Starlight Talk. We're finally live. 30 minutes.
We had some technical issues.
Yes.
But I'm glad that hopefully they're resolved. I can see it. I just checked. All right, we're good.
Yeah, I was like talking to like a few people, and like this week has already been such a long week, and it's just like 3 days in, and just like now like daylight savings time messing with our technology.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the holidays, because I know the holidays can be a difficult time for people on the spectrum. I know it's definitely difficult for me. Like parties in general are a lot, and then
sometimes your technology,
extended family, changes in routine, changes in diet, going on vacation. Like, yeah, so there's a lot to that. Expectations.
Changes in all the things. It's seriously though, it's like, can't I just have my same routine? No, we need to have tons of people around, and you need to come out and say hi to them all, and we're going to eat different food and go to different places. And it's like, I am so glad that I am like an adult that has the ability to say no thank you now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
yeah, for sure. And like just like understanding the diagnosis and be like, I need to do this because of my autism, rather than before when I was just like, I don't want to do this, and everyone would be like so upset.
Although point to the I don't want to do this because of my autism thing, I've been doing a lot of research and really come to the conclusion lately that at least half of the things that autistic people are overwhelmed by are not actually a problem with the autistic person or something that's wrong with them. It's just that we're all overwhelmed by it. Some of us don't. Some of us choose to ignore it. I found this article a few days ago on how silence is vital for our brains. Something that a lot of people with Asperger's are like, oh my God, there's too much noise, right? But at the same time, it's something that, and then we go, oh, well, it just must be my Asperger's or my autism that's causing the issue. When, check this out, I'm going to quote from this article. In 2011, the World Health Organization, WHO, examined and quantified its health burden in Europe. It concluded that the 340 million residents of Western Europe, about the same population of the United States, were losing 1 million years of healthy life every year due to noise. WHO also said that the root cause of 3,000 heart disease deaths was due to excessive noise, and a study by Professor Gary Evans from Cornell, published in Psychological Science, charted the effects of airport noise on school children near Munich's airport. The study showed that the children exposed to noise developed a stress response that actually caused them to ignore the noise. He found that children ignored both the harmful noise at the airport along with more everyday noises such as speech. I don't think that that's an issue with people with Asperger's or autism going, oh, this is too loud all the time. I think that sometimes it's too loud for everybody, and we're the only ones that say anything.
Yeah.
So you're not crazy. It's too loud for everyone.
I think to me it was more to the extent of like the holidays is like go, 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 go. And so like I'd be running out of spoons and be like, well, I can't do like the big thing because all the preparation for the big thing was too much for me. Like we had to go to the grocery store, which is a sensory filled environment, and then we had to like wrap presents, and we had to go buy presents, and we had to like keep doing all these things that are not part of our routine. That was a lot of work. It's like, okay, now let's actually do Christmas. It's like, well, now I'm done.
Yeah, but here's the thing is that you're forgetting the fact that before that you had Thanksgiving and or other holidays, and then you have all of the things at school, and there's usually tests and finals at school. And
yeah, and like stress sickness is a real thing.
Yeah.
Where like you actually, when you're stressed, it uses up all of every words. When you're stressed, it uses up your immune system, and then when you stop being stressed, you get sick.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that stress, that emotional capacity is a finite resource, just like money, right? If I spend all my money for the day, I'm done. I don't have any more to spend. I can go into debt, but that's not helpful long term.
And I remember learning that, or maybe Lillian looked it up, and like in college, I was in a biology class that taught us that, like, was like, oh, you should know this because it's part of biology. And like people in college didn't know that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that people didn't know this was a thing. But like stress sickness, that's not in your head. That's actual, like you're actually sick.
Yeah. There's a whole field of study called, it's a big mouthful here, psychoneuroimmunology, which is basically, hey, your stress levels affect your immune system. Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. Exactly. And during the holidays, it is a thing that makes people more stressed. I bet you with cursory Googling, we could find many a study on how like the holidays are literally horrible for your health.
Yeah. And then like I remember just like my expectations would be something, and then that reality not being met, it would be such a bummer. Where like I would put in effort for like my friends. I remember like even at school, like before vacation, I'd just go to Target and go to like to the dollar section and like get everyone like these silly presents.
Yeah.
Then they never got me any. And I was like, well, the first year I was like, oh, okay, maybe next year. Okay, maybe next year. And then it just never happened. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And so every year it was just like, it's just not going to be returned, and it's not
you just have these weird expectations that you're trying to play the game, but nobody else is. And then, okay, now what?
Yeah. And I like people would ask for wish lists from me and then not get anything from my wish list. I'm like, but I put in all this energy and effort, and then I expected something, and it was not even close to that. And even when it was a good thing, I was like, but I didn't ask.
Yeah. Honestly, now, like, I don't like people getting me things because I have everything that I need, and I have a small apartment. So if you get me something, not great. Now I need to find a place to put it. It's like,
for a while,
I got you giant thing. Yay, I don't have any room for it.
I refuse to give people presents for holidays, and I did this thing called Just Because Day, where I'd give them presents just because.
Yeah.
And people were so much happier to get anything just because, more so than on their birthday. Like people were like disappointed when you get something crappy on their birthday, but if you get something crappy like on a random day, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Me and my friends used to go and literally get random items from stores, like a empty ketchup dispenser bottle, little squeeze thing, or like just obscure random stuff, and just go up to people in parks and like put it all in, like, you know, wrap it up and put it in a little gift bag and just go like, I forget what we said. Maybe it was just happy birthday or something, even if it wasn't their birthday. We just gave them presents, and they're always like, okay. And it's so much better than, you know, silly customs. I think what we get at it is we get to the point where we try and obey all these silly customs to try and get everyone's approval, when it's like, okay, well, that doesn't work. At the end of the day, for me, the holidays is about doing your thing and connecting with the people in your world, and everything else. I mean, you just like anything else, you can turn it into a trauma stress fest if you want. You know? Yeah,
like the point of traditions and stuff like that is to like do something that brings you together. If your traditions are stressful, maybe you need new traditions.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe you need something that brings you together. Like, so my traditions right now are, I go to Florida every February or March because it's not gray in Seattle. In our AE Plus group, we do Taco Tuesday, which is talk about the things you're grateful for, which is now, like, people are starting to go, I have 3 tacos today, but they aren't talking about the food item. They're talking about things to be grateful for. In my family, we have Thanksgiving dinner together, and that's our thing. That's it. That's the tradition. I don't even know what I am doing for Christmas. I don't even know where I'll be. I will probably be here in Seattle doing my Seattle thing like I usually do.
My family celebrates both Hanukkah and Christmas, and as a kid, I was like more excited for Christmas just because of presents. So like now, I'm like way more excited for Hanukkah because there's no expectation for Hanukkah. It's like we all get together,
Yeah.
whoever can get together on one of the days, and we have a nice dinner. And it's like different people come on different days because it's like you don't get together with everyone all 8 days.
Yeah.
And then even like people who aren't Jewish like are like, I want to know what this holiday is like. And so it's like all the different people that come, and it's like super nice and different every night. Sometimes it's just like our immediate family, and sometimes there's extended family, but it's always nice for we just have dinner. Like the Christmas stuff gets like way too much. Like everyone gets stressed out about preparing for it and like where are we doing it and who's coming, and where are we gonna do the presents, where are we gonna do this, and like just let it happen.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is don't do things that make you stressed. As you said, traditions are supposed to bring people together. If your traditions are making you stressed out, get new traditions.
Yeah.
And it's like, because at that point, if you're doing things that are stressing you out and nobody likes it, and you have the resources and means to change and you haven't yet, why? Well, because it's tradition. Well, it's stressful too. Like, the big benefit I see to having Asperger's or being somewhere on the spectrum is that you don't do stupid stuff. You don't do stuff that you perceive to be stupid that has no reason, right? You're doing all this stuff that you give me a reason, otherwise I won't do it.
Mm-hmm. And like my twin sister Lillian, she gets like way more overwhelmed, and like my family is pretty cool with her just saying like, oh, I need to take a break and go in the other room, and like she needs to sleep more, especially when she's stressed. And so like just like going like, hey, like everyone being more accommodating to that kind of stuff is really cool. And like there was like an expectation to like dress up when we were little, and now it's like, well, if you want to go in your pajamas, who cares? It's like just our family, you know?
Yeah. I think the more pressure and stress that people put on, you need to wear a suit and do it in this way and this and that, or dress and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, I'm sorry, that's just not going to work for people on the spectrum. Yeah. And if you are triggered by that and that overwhelms you, the parent, then sounds like you have some stuff to work on, and you really need to think what is more important, your kid's happiness or this rigid tradition.
Mm-hmm. And like if you have someone who's like picky eater, like they can bring their own food, and like they don't have to eat like the turkey dinner at Thanksgiving. Yeah. Like like you can still make them like their chicken nuggets or their mac and cheese or their, like it's supposed to be fun for everyone.
Yeah. So I'm 28, and I don't think I've ever legitimately had a Thanksgiving dinner with like the turkey and the stuffing and the cranberry and all that. Like I might have tried one piece of turkey, but like it's not a good meal for me to think of just like, do you want to have some like carved turkey and mashed potatoes? No, I really don't. Like, I don't care what day of the year it is. That's not an appealing meal for me. Can I have like a Mexican rice bowl instead? Can I have some like, I don't know, just some Thai food? Can I have some tacos? Can I have like something else? I will gladly go to like a restaurant or something and make my own food.
Yeah.
And that's, I am a actual legitimate bona fide adult now that living my own life. And it is okay for the 28-year-old adult to go, thank you. I will gladly sit with you and like talk and, maybe have like a piece of turkey to be nice, but I'm also going to like go and actually eat dinner beforehand so I'm not starving, because I just plain old don't like Thanksgiving as a meal. Like straight up, that It's like, oh, you have mashed potatoes and turkey and gravy and all this stuff. It's like, I don't enjoy those foodstuffs. And I don't need any more reason than that to say, this doesn't work for me. I'll sit with you and enjoy it, but I'm not going to subject myself to a meal that I don't enjoy. It's like, tonight we're eating pizza, but I'm gluten-free. Okay, well, you have gluten-free pizza, but I just don't like pizza. I want to choose to eat something else.
Yeah. So, like, go with things that, like, make you happy and aren't as stressful. Just, like, be a holiday. Like, but it doesn't have to be, like, perfect. Like, everyone has such a different idea of how it's supposed to be. Like, if you just go of that and just feel like we're going to do things that make us happy instead of trying to make everyone go to your idea of how you want it to be.
But isn't that true with everything, though? Like, if you're trying to enforce your way of being to everyone else, really regardless of what it is, then, like, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Whether it's holiday offerings or whether it's literally anything, if you're rigid and go, it needs to be a certain way, then you're basically saying you will suffer. It's like, okay, then I'm going to suffer, I guess. And I think that a lot of times we just get so scared and locked into a routine of like, oh, what will other people think if I don't have Thanksgiving? Honestly, I don't give a shit what other people will think. I'm going to like do a thing that makes me happy. And if it makes other people uncomfortable, it makes other people uncomfortable. That's not mine to own. That's them being uncomfortable. That's their problem. And if they go try to say, you need to change so I'm not uncomfortable anymore, I'll just go, haha, no, that's not how this works. You go be uncomfortable.
And then, like, but I think the biggest thing for me was like dealing with people that like didn't understand me, and just like there would always be like that one family member that would say something like
I have
just would like I remember being so proud of like my first year of college that I gained like 10 pounds or something. Yeah. And I was like, yes, freshman 15, because I would like trying to like gain weight like my entire life. And I showed up to Christmas and like my one aunt was like, did you lose weight? And I like had to leave the room. I was like so upset. And so like when it comes to like that, it doesn't always have to be autism or anything, but that was always like the difficult thing, especially like I know going into that it's gonna happen, and I still go, why does it affect me so much?
Eventually I just learned that I'm just gonna still be me and be unapologetic. Yeah. Actually, I've been trying to gain weight, and I've actually gained 10 pounds since then. Thank you for noticing. And then the thing is that when you do that, then they start becoming embarrassed and sort of shut up. Like, what do you say to that? Yeah. It's like somebody comes and goes, well, hey, give me a hug. Actually, I don't want to do a hug. Come on, give me a hug. Honestly, I really don't want to give you a hug, and I'd really appreciate that you stop asking me, because what you're telling me is that my body is not my own. Now, I know that isn't what you're thinking, so how about we just forget about this and move on? And then they kind of go, oh, well, okay then. And really, you only need to do that like once. And for all you parents watching, support that for your kids. Yeah. Do that, and then the parent, like, good job. Yeah, like, the parent is on your side. Then it's like, yeah, you just put Aunt Susie in her place, damn it.
Yeah, and like I know, like in a much healthier state of mind, I probably would be able to do that in a snap. But when it's like stress, and holiday, then that happens. Then it's just like, I want to leave. Right? It's just shut down, meltdown. Rather than like if that was like just the first thing on the list, and I'd be like, whatever. Yeah. But because it's like the last straw.
Yep. I think I've just trained myself to, like, as a defense mechanism, if I get there, to use, like, my reserves of energy to, like, put people in their place. Just to be like, to quote Happy Gilmore, you will go to sleep or I will put you to sleep. That attitude of just like, all right, no, this is what's going to happen now. I don't have time for this shit anymore. I'm done. I have gone on some spectacular rants while in that mode. And people are like, dang. But, to each his own. I think it also comes with having support from the rest of your family, right? Like, if you do that and then your mom gives you the look, and you're like, okay. But if your mom's like, yeah, keep going, then that's very different.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get that support, and, like, having my twin sister has been really helpful because she, like, can read me like no one else because we lived every single second together for so long. So she'll, like, say something before even I can, and I'm like, now I don't know how to stand up for myself because we stand up for each other.
Kat, I tell everyone in advance my daughter has a no-touch rule, but again, Kat, I go back to I don't think that's an autism thing. I think that's a person thing of, like, in general and in life. As an adult,
just ask permission. And if they say no, respect it.
Yeah, I request that people ask permission before they touch me. Like, anybody in any situation. Unless you are, like, my lover, and we obviously have basically said that. Like, my business partner, Travis, we were running a workshop last week, and he was saying he does this to the point of when he wanted to kiss his wife for the first time, he asked, can I kiss you? And then they kissed, and she says, for the record, you never need to ask that again. It's like, okay, cool. Unless you've gotten blatant permission across the board, permission from somebody, ask. I don't care who you are, Asperger's or not. It's like, you don't just randomly go touch and kiss and hug people. Ask.
We got a cool comment from Jeremy that said, I would love for my son to talk to you guys. He's 15 with high-functioning autism, and I'd love for him to realize there's other kids out there that understand him. He's an awesome kid, but really struggling with making friends. Well, I just posted something about making friends today. I was talking with my friend who has, like, huge social anxiety, and we've been, like, talking about, like, how different our perspective was in middle school because he had such anxiety about things that he saw things so differently. And he was like, why did you want to be my friend and then continue to be my friend when, like, it was so obvious I had all these issues with friendship and didn't understand it and, like, kept hurting you? I'm like, you didn't. What are you talking about? None of this happened. And he was like, what? I was like, I was just nice to everyone, and then you returned that, and then I returned it, and then you returned it, and that's how friendship continues. We both put in effort.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't make an exception for you. You were the exception.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people understand that's how it works.
Yeah, and like I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, but I, like, accumulated one friend from here and one friend from there and one friend, and now I have a bunch of friends, and they don't always want to be together because they don't know each other, which I don't get, but now I have a bunch of friends, and so that's nice. But, like, when I was in middle school, I had, like, 2 friends at my middle school, and then I went to a different school and I got more friends from there, and then I lost some friends from my middle school, but he continued to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then we're still friends. So, like, I think people mistake friendship for, like, I don't know, so many different things, but it's just returning that. And so if you, like, keep putting yourself out there, there'll be someone that will will return that. There has to be.
It's a recognition of, hey, we're all in this game together.
Yeah.
And not only does it suck to do it alone, it is medically necessary to do it together. I wrote a piece on
Yeah.
this the other day about how having friends and not being lonely isn't something that is nice to have, that is like up there on the wish list with like a hot shower, right? It's like, oh, technically you don't need a hot shower, but it's nice to have. Technically you don't need friends, but it's nice to have. Wrong. No, like loneliness is one of the biggest health epidemics of the 21st century. It's worse than smoking 15 cigarettes, and it's one of the biggest killers in the world. It's not something that is nice to have. It's something that is medically necessary to have friends. You can't just, oh, well, that's nice. This is needed. And so at the end of the day, it comes down to being nice to people and, being nice to a lot of people, and some of them will like you back. Some of them will think you're the spawn of Satan and that you're trying to destroy their life, and that's okay. It's not personal. They obviously have a lot of their own stuff to work on. Yeah. Some people will be like, oh, you're an awesome person. Let's go do things. And then you'll be like, I would like to do things. And then you go and do things.
Yeah. Having friends takes a lot of work. I've not had a friend that was just like, hey, let's go hang out and have fun. Like, no, you have to help them when they have a difficult time. There's times where they can't hang out with you because they're doing stuff. And so you just put in effort and go, okay, I get it, but tell me when you want to see me and I'll be there, and I'll tell you when I need to see you. And if you need my help, I'll be there to help you through it. That's what friendship is. It's not like, let's just go to the movies. That's part of it, but there's a whole nother part. And so if you're not doing all of that, then you're not. Yeah. And if you don't have the capacity to be a friend, then it's probably not the right time to do that.
Then it's the time to basically to go get the capacity.
Yeah.
And that's my work is telling people how to get capacity. So I think it's sort of outside the scope of this conversation. The 10-second version, because I know people always ask, well, how do I get the capacity, is relax more and do things that stress you out less. But, if you want the taken me 6 years to explain so far version, you can go to my website, aspergerexperts.com. But and that is it at the end of the day. You have friends and you do things in your way. For me, my friends will just randomly have holiday party of let's just hang out and play board games. That's it. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do anything crazy or fancy or, than anything else. I still may spontaneously just go to Florida for Christmas because, it's a thing. But everyone celebrates in their own way, and it's okay for that to happen.
Yeah, I have my film friends where we like watching films, making films, and then I have because I was a film major, and then I have other friends where that's not their thing, and that's cool because I don't need to do that all the time. Mm-hmm. And so then I have friends where we just like to hang out and talk about things, and I have friends where want to go and do things outdoors. So it's just you find someone who likes to do things with you.
And the first one is the hardest. Once you find one friend, they introduce you to all their other friends, and then you just get through this web of people that just moves along. Elaine is saying, my son wasn't diagnosed until he was in his late 20s with Asperger's. He lives at home still and is 30 now, gets really depressed because of lack of friends. Any suggestions on how he could connect with other people? Yes, very simple, Elaine. He needs to go out and be in places where other people are. It's very hard to make friends if you aren't around other people.
I don't understand internet friends. In person is so much better.
I have a few internet friends, and to be honest, the majority of the people I hang out with are all over the country. Mm-hmm. But you do need to have that in-person thing. I go and visit these people. I'm not as regularly as I'd like to, but it's not.
You can meet someone on the internet, but you have to go meet them in person. You can't you can play video games with people you don't know, but there's no connection there yet. It's like a great way to practice, but like to go out and be face to face is really, really important. You're not getting that same connection when you're not face to face.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that you're missing. It's like seeing a picture of the Grand Canyon versus going to the Grand Canyon. Or like seeing a picture, or even better, seeing a picture of Disneyland versus going to Disneyland. It's like, oh, great, look, that's a picture of the castle, but then you're missing my
friend made a friend at Disneyland. We were in line for some ride, and there was someone there playing one of those Pokemon games, and my friend was obsessed with that. So she had hers out. She's like, "There's someone right near here who wanted to join me on this game." And she looked around and saw this girl standing by herself and was like, "Hey, do you want to join us?" And then they like exchanged phone numbers, talked about Pokemon, and then became friends and started hanging out. Like you just reach out to someone when they're there. Yeah. Like you can make friends anywhere. Like it's like, I mean, there is like some weird stuff where like I've gone up to people who like look lonely and like, "Hey," and they're like, "Go away, I don't know you." But
you know, people are people, and not everyone's gonna say yes, sure, let's be best friends.
So like, there's rejection that happens with friendship, just like there's rejection that happens with romance. Like when you put yourself out there. But I think like you just have. I think it's better to find friends, or easier to find friends like through clubs and through like activities like sports and like stuff like that, where like you're meant to go meet people. And there's like meetup groups online, like for all different things.
But you know, at the same time, I can't just walk up to a random person at bar and be friends with them. I have to like. If I'm going to go out and meet people, I need to be at a specific organization where, like, I know everyone's there for a reason. Because my usual go-to line is like, "So what brings you to thing?" And it's really hard to just go up to somebody at a bar. "So what brings you to the bar tonight?" It's like, all right.
Lillian's line, my twin sister, is like, "You look like a cool person. You want to be friends?" Like she just straight up goes into it. And there's people that get so scared and go, "No, There's other people like, "That's really cool. Like you're so honest. Like let's do this thing."
Yeah, but the thing is that she finds the people that are like her. It's a filter, right? It's like the people that are you don't want to be friends with anyway. And I think a lot of people miss that. They're like, rejection is bad. I'm like, no, rejection is a wonderful, amazing thing.
Yeah, you're weeding out people that like aren't going to like you anyway. Because you're showing who you are. And they're like, no. So you don't want to be their friend.
Yeah, good news. You know now, rather than investing 2 years into that friendship only to figure out that they're crazy.
Yeah.
Someone is saying, what are some of the best coping techniques if and when you get overwhelmed during socialization situations? Number one, biggest thing, have a regular routine of self-care so you don't get overwhelmed during the moment. Essentially what you're asking is, what are some things you can do if you need to lift a car but are unable to? It's like, well, number one, work out for 3 months previously so you're able to lift heavy things.
Yeah, like be aware of like what your body's telling you. Like if you can't handle it, then now is not a good time to do it. Yeah. If you're already dealing with stressful things and then putting yourself in that situation, unless it's your escape to do that, it's not going to be fun and you're going to get overwhelmed. Where like if you like prepared yourself and are in a good state of mind, then you won't get overwhelmed. Yeah. Like, and then listen as like you continue to do it to your body. And when you start to get overwhelmed, and go, okay, I'm going to stop now. I need to go. Bye. Let's keep in touch later.
Yeah. Like I've done that. I've been like, I'm out later. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Peace. Just in the moment, like, all right, bye. And they're like, are you going? Yep, I'm going. Okay. But the cool thing is true friends accept you for you. You don't need to do it. You'd be like, oh.
And if you're just honest, you're like, I'm really overwhelmed right now. I'm going to go. But if you want to talk tomorrow, I'll probably be cool. Most people are cool with that.
Yeah.
It's when you're like, you lie about it and just go and come up with a weird excuse. And I'm like, why is that person so rude?
Yeah. Elaine saying any online forums you suggest for older people to connect. Elaine, here's the deal, is that if you're going to attempt to make online friends, the more specialized of a group you can find, the better. Example, I just joined a Discord chat room for people that are interested in like Walt Disney World, but more like the engineering history side. Like our group mainly doesn't care about taking pictures with Mickey Mouse. But if you talk about like the fact that the new Epcot show is going to use drones, we're all over it. Like right now, literally, they're discussing the fact that at this moment, Disney is doing construction on the old Hollywood Studios sign, and they're taking it down. And we're like, ooh, they're taking down the Hollywood Studios sign, and like discussing over that. So the point being is that the more weirdly niche you can get to find like the people that also like your really weird specific thing, like that really get you. Like I had a 1 hour long discussion with somebody on the engineering of the People Mover in the Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom, and we were swapping the patent drawings and the sales booklet from the 1960s, as well as a documentary. Like, you don't find some generic "let's be friends" forum. You find some place that is absurdly specific into your interests with your people that get you, that will allow you to be nerdy. Or you find a place where people are just welcoming and accepting. We're building one online, the new AspergerExperts.com coming soon. But until then, find that weird group of people that can like outdo you on nerding out about the thing you nerd out about that everyone else wants to hear nothing about. That's what I'd say, because then you start to find your people and be like, ooh, cool. Like, and then eventually those people meet up and then you have a cool friend group in person.
Yeah, I would agree. I went to a bunch of schools, and so that's how I made most of my friends. I kept transferring. So like before I went to
that's one strategy.
Yeah. So there were like before I went to college, there was like film people who were going to this school at this grade, and so we were all like new to it, and so I like took advantage of being the new person when I got there and was like, I'm new, can anyone help me? And that's how I made all my friends. Where like people were like afraid to approach other people, and so like a lot of the transfers didn't make friends, and they left, and I was like, you just talk to people because
yeah,
they're here. They're everywhere. Someone's gonna like you.
But I think a lot of people just don't talk to other people because they don't have the emotional capacity to deal with the fear. You know?
I mean, the worst someone can say is no.
Yeah. And then you just like, for me though, there's like this. There was this fear of, oh, what are they going to do? They might say a whole bunch of crazy things, but usually the people that say a whole bunch of crazy things are not going to do anything, right? We work in my business with like hundreds of thousands of people on mass scale. So we'll get people going, you scammer, and like some people like trying to complain to. We had one person just like write a letter to the state attorney general about us going like, they're doing a thing, and then they're like, go away. The attorney general's like, why are you telling me this? Go away. So people, there's some crazy people in the world, but their bark is definitely worse than their bite because they don't really have a bite. It's all bark.
I've met some really crazy people having a service dog, but just like there's people who really despise having a dog in a restaurant, or just, and like it's mostly never the staff of a place. It's like some random customer just like goes, why do you have a dog here? And like gets so upset, but like everyone else just goes, they're crazy.
Yeah. And crazy people exist. You know what you do? You just smile and wave, right?
Yeah.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. And you're just like, there, crazy person, it's okay. And then they're like, and you're just like, okay, crazy person, goodbye now. Go back to your seat and eat your food.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
Like, normally everyone just goes like, you're the person that needs to leave then.
Yeah. Like, if you don't allow the crazy people to get into your life, then they're the ones that get asked to leave. And it's like, bye, crazy person. You have decided to make this an issue. So, all right, go deal with it. I'm not going to take it on. So many people don't realize you can just say no to other people's issues.
And like, I get like, you don't, if you're allergic to dogs or whatever, have a fear of dogs or whatever, and you're just like, I don't want this dog next to me at this restaurant, and like, and they've gotten up and moved. I'm like, that's perfectly acceptable. But it's like, there's no reason to scream at my dog or me. But people have, and I'm just like, well, definitely not going to be my friend in the near future.
Yeah. Well, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah. It makes a cool story, you know?
Yeah.
I can talk about it now.
Yeah.
People enjoy that.
We had a question that was posted on the comments, shared this on Asperger Experts. Lori commented, we need help with school. My son is 15, is way above his 10th grade level. We have done everything. He hates school because he's way ahead of his classmates. He says no one understands him. I try thinking about homeschooling. I mean, if you can, do it. Just because school isn't going to get better, right? Yeah.
Why? Can he skip a grade? Can he like?
Schools, like, there's so many people that are ready just to be like, I don't need school anymore. I'm good. No, you must stay and do insane, mundane things for another 2 years. No, thank you. I'd rather not. But especially, oh my God, during the holidays when you have all like the projects, and it's this weird like stop, start, break, stress thing where you're like, okay, we're going to do 4 days off for Thanksgiving. Then we're going to come back and we're going to have the tests and finals. Then we're going to like screw around and watch.
For me, like, I didn't understand how much I didn't like school because like that was my whole life. So like when I stopped doing school, it's like, there's another option.
You mean I didn't need to suffer? But like, seriously, there are some days where after we did all the finals and testing,
and I accommodated as much as I could. Like, I turned boring projects into film projects and that kind of thing. Yeah. And made it like a teeny bit more fun and more into what I was doing. And I worked really hard on things that I enjoyed. I took a lot of art classes and stuff. But like, if I was able to unschool or homeschool or whatever that is, I would have loved that way more. And
school's a horrible system. As I was about to say, after we did the finals and stuff, true story, there was a day in school where all we did was watch Finding Nemo 3 times in a row because that's what all the teachers wanted to show it. And I'm like, at this point, why? Like,
like that last week of school when you're like, why are we even in school? We're not doing school.
I refuse to watch Finding Nemo again.
We had the funny thing is thing at my high school. I
would actually refuse to do the thing, and then the would be like, "No, you can't refuse." I'm like, "Okay, bye. I'm going to go work in the computer lab, and we're going to both agree that it's easier for you if you just let me and pretend like I'm still in class, because otherwise, I will rain hell upon you."
We had a thing at my high school called Midway Day. We're like midway through the school year, we had a day where like they taught fun classes, which were just like, there was like a class that like when the new Sherlock came out that like dissected Sherlock, and there was like all that. I'm like, why are we in school? We're not doing school. I just want to leave. I don't want to do a fun class. It's not fun. And then if you like didn't sign up in time, which like they didn't really help you with that, like, oh, Midway Day's coming up, you should sign up for classes. Then you just like went to and watched movies all day. And I'm like, why are we here?
And what are we doing? There is no good reason. Because like a lot of the stuff that this society participates in, it's just like that we've just decided to do this because we have been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
The end.
Like, a lot of the kids were excited about it. I'm like, why? Why?
No.
I don't want to be here if we're not doing school. Can we just have another day of summer, please?
So, yeah. Anyway, should we call it for the evening?
Okay. Yeah. Let's start wrapping up. So, if you enjoyed seeing us hang out together, we're gonna do some more things together in the future.
Yes, more on that very, very soon. We're doing a few events in Los Angeles in January. I'm putting together the page that describes it all next week, and then we will get it out to everyone.
Yeah.
So come say hi.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have some photos in an art show at the end of the month.
Cool.
Which I'm super excited about. And my face is on a book, which you can buy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I interned for one of my professors when I left Woodbury, my first college that I left. I talked to him about having autism, and then he has like a nonprofit with people from all over the world, and he was like, you should intern for me. And then he emailed me and was like, I have someone from my nonprofit that wrote a book about autism. Do you want to be on the cover of it? And I was like, yeah, why not? And so I read the book first before it was like, and it's good. It talks all about what autism is. I don't know which way to go. Okay. What autism is, and what the diagnosis process is, and the history of autism. And it's written by someone in Britain, so Asperger's and autism are two different things there. So it goes into that. And I helped do the chapter on the difference between male and female on the spectrum, cool. Which is important. So yeah, it's $15 on Amazon. It's called Asperger's, Autism, and You by Dr. Ian Hale. It's good.
Awesome.
So we have support group for parents and tomorrow at the office in Redondo Beach, California. I feel like there's something else coming up. No.
Probably. Like that.
Maybe it's just office stuff. Check out the website where I do my blog. If you've never seen my blog, I write about living on the spectrum. Check out Danny at Asperger Experts, because everything there is awesome, especially the defense mode stuff.
And acceptance as well.
Acceptance, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about that.
Oh my God, so am I. We finally got our giant brochure in, and it looks amazing. And I'm looking at this going, it's a thing. It's a real thing with substance behind it.
Yeah, it was different seeing this in person, because I had copies of it digitally, but it was no, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why there were all those cool photos of me everywhere online. Yeah. So, because it was a photo shoot for this, and I sent pictures of me with regular hair and with this yellow hair, and he wanted the yellow hair, and that's cool. I'm really down for that.
All right.
Someone accepted me, so.
Yeah.
See, people will accept you.
It's,
even if it's a random person in Britain who read a book. So.
And even if you have yellow hair.
Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Come back next week. I'm going to have my guest, Billy Butler. We're going to talk about representation of autism. That's really exciting. He's working on his thesis right now, and he did Affinity, a web series that has an autistic character that Benji has a cameo in, which you can watch online. Affinity, the series. He will be on next week. Wednesday, hopefully at 7 o'clock with no technical difficulties. You can see my stress puff that was just like going like this and it just got bigger.
I like that stress puff.
I think I learned it from Vlog Brothers. It was something that one of the brothers did. Is when you get stressed, you play with your hair, and it's just a universal thing. Like the more stressed out, the bigger your puff. I brushed my hair before this, I promise. My mom made me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys have a happy holiday thanks to our advice. Give us credit. Say like it was a great holiday season because of Chloe, Estelle, and Danny Raede. Bye. Stay colorful.